And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Brian, how are you doing?
I am doing well, Ronan. Thank you. Thank you on this fine hump day morning.
It is a beautiful day, isn't it?
It is unusually warm this time of year, even for Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not excited about that. Let me just go out.
Yeah, it's been at least the evenings and the mornings are cool enough to hang out outside,
right,
and not be submersed in water. Submerged in water yet.
All right. Well, hey, listen, we're live, so welcome everybody. Day 3, new day, new message. What do we got going on today, Brian?
Okay, well, thanks, Ronan. So my name is Brian Williams. For those of you who don't yet know me or whom I don't know yet, thanks for tuning in. We are today going to talk about messaging and messaging specifically as it relates to building relationships and ultimately getting a sales appointment with someone who you might be able to do business with. So we decided last week, Ronan and myself, to host these daily lives at 9:30 a.m. Pacific each day. They're short, 15, 20 minutes. We just want to deliver useful information that can help you if you're a business owner or a sales professional looking to do business with other business owners. We do this day in and day out for ourselves and our clients, and we just thought it would be cool to give some of that information back to all of you. So today is all about messaging, and it's a hot topic because a lot of people are just downright frustrated with making new connections or accepting new connections on Facebook and LinkedIn because what happens, what happens? I mean, anybody out there? What happens when you accept a new connection? Hi, Lillian. What happens a lot, right? I know what happens to me. What happens to me is I get this like spammy, long-winded sales pitch about whatever it is the person wants to sell me. And I don't even know them yet. Like, I'm just like, okay, I'll connect with you. And I hit that accept. And then I get this like long-winded thing, maybe a 20-minute video about their business and a link to go book myself on their calendar. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, easy, Tiger. I don't even know who you are yet. And so that's just weird and salesy, and it doesn't feel good. And it's putting a bit of a stain, if you will, on social media, right? So let's be different than that. Let's be the refreshing voice. Let's be something that's a total 180 from that. And that's what we do. That's what Ronan and I have been doing for years. And that's what we want to talk about. Give you some ideas on how to stand out, not in an aggressive or obtuse manner, but in a refreshing, you care about me manner. So how's that sound for today, Ronan?
Perfect. It sounds like we're going to buy you a drink first, and then we'll ask you out.
That would be great once we can go back to doing that. Or you could just ship it. You could just ship it, I guess, to me.
Yeah, so, it's like, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you go back and look at some of the trainings we did earlier this week, we talked about market to message match, which ties into this a bit. So if you haven't watched that episode, go back on Monday and watch that. Yesterday, we talked about how you can incorporate messaging well into your profiles. Today, we're going to talk about the actual message. So I just thought I'd show you. Yesterday, we were working with a client, and I thought I'd show you a message that we're using today, given today's environment, that might give you some ideas on the kinds of messaging that you might want to send out to your connections, whether they're new connections on Facebook and LinkedIn, or whether they're new connections on Facebook or LinkedIn, just to give you a flavor of what that might look like. Ronan, can you share my screen? Thank you very much. Let me go to that message. So here's the format. I'll read it just because it might be difficult to read if you're looking at this on your phone or something like that. It says, hello, first name. So I'll just say, hello, Sally. First and foremost, I hope you and your family are holding up well during these uncertain and challenging times. Although we are all in the same storm together, many of us are riding through it in different boats and achieving different results. For many businesses, this is a great time to be working on your business instead of the usual in your business. If you'd like to chat, let's have a quick conversation together and see what that might look like. All my best, Dawn. That's it, right? You're not really selling anything. You're not talking really about what you do. You're just being sensitive to the times that we're in and you're sending a relatively friendly, non-salesy message and making an attempt to connect. So this is something that we actually crafted yesterday for our client. His name is Don, obviously. And these are going out to many of his, in this case, LinkedIn connections, both new and previous. Don, or Ronan, bring me back if you would. I got to find on my screen. Where am I? Okay, here we go. So that's an example of something that you might want to incorporate into your own messaging style, right? And it's very timely. So that's the other thing about messaging is be sensitive to the time that we're in, right? Don't be sending a Happy New Year message when it's whatever it is today, April, almost May. But you can send out welcome to the New Year messages in January, or at least the first couple of weeks of January. So that's one idea. Another idea, and this is something we often use as well, is a technique, I guess you could call it, where we're sending information relevant to the person we're communicating with, having nothing or very little, at least, but really nothing to do with us, right? Because look, we love talking about us, people in general talking about what's on their mind, what's interesting to them, not necessarily what's interesting to me or what's interesting to you. So if you're communicating or connecting with a certain group of people, talk about stuff that's interesting to them, and not even stuff that you produce, but maybe stuff from a third party. We have found that by sending information from reputable third-party sources of information, third-party news organizations, third-party celebrities, third-party influencers, what have you, that's relevant to the people we're speaking to, that gets a really, really great response. So if you would, I'll give an example of that. Bring me back to my screen here, Ronan, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me find where I'm looking at. All right, so this is just a page out of a workshop that we do, but let me go to a real example of this. So here's a message, actually, that Ronan sends out when he's connecting with people in the IT services space, okay, which is one of the markets that Ronan does business with. So it's an article. It's an article from this place called business2community.com. It was not written by Ronan. It's just an article that he searched for, I think, using one of the tools that we use, but you can easily search for these kinds of things just using Google. I can actually show an example. If you're listening and you want me to actually show you an example of how to find an article like this and actually craft a message for the niche that you are in, please comment anywhere that you're listening, and I'll do that. I'll do it right now on the fly, and you can see how I find, or how we find articles like this very easily that you can source, and you just put the link in this. This is a LinkedIn message that Ronan sent to his contact, John. And it was just, hey, John, I read this article. I thought you might be interested in it. Has nothing, Ronan's not selling appointment setting services, which is what we do. He's not talking about himself. He's not talking about our company. He's talking about stuff that John might be interested. It's all about John. So make it all about them, not anything about you. This is a really good way to build a relationship. And I'll show you in this particular example, Ronan sent this out at almost 2:30 p.m. And at 6:40 p.m., John responded, hey, thanks for sharing these articles. And you notice he says these articles. That's because Ronan's been doing this with John for a little bit of time. So John is now starting to appreciate Ronan being interested in John. And look, John leaves his contact information. Let's set up a follow-up call. How cool is that? So Ronan didn't even have to ask for the appointment. John suggests we meet. So like I said, if you're in a niche or an industry, you want me to show you how we do this, I'm happy to do it right now, literally live. This wasn't planned for today, but I'm happy to show you. Ronan, go ahead and bring me back, if you would, to view. That's an interesting view. There we go. Okay. So there's two examples. So those are, I just want to help you with some ideas on how to communicate and message people. And you can use this anywhere. You can use this in email. You can use this on LinkedIn, which I've shown you. You can use this in Facebook in a way that's going to distinguish you from a lot of what everybody else is seeing.
And I just wanted to add too, I think it's important to understand that the temptation is, and I know because I get them all the time, is to just lead with your sales pitch. you know, and lead with a bunch of information about who you are and how they can contact you. And most people that I talk to, that's very off-putting. You know, it's like very presumptuous, very arrogant to say, oh, you know what, we just connected, but here's all my info and give me a call. Here's my calendar link. Let's do business. Like, really? I don't know you. I don't know who you are. You have no relatedness to me. We're networking, and you wouldn't do that live, right? You wouldn't necessarily do that live. You'd at least have some kind of conversation. When you're at a live networking event, there's an interaction there, and then you can kind of feel towards the end, all right, well, let's take this to an appointment, or there's something here. But in LinkedIn, and you've never met anybody, you've just connected with them, leading with that sales pitch is, you know, imagine if somebody did that to you live. You wouldn't want that to happen. So you wouldn't do it live. Don't do it on LinkedIn. Even more so, don't do it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like when we used to go to networking events in person. It's that person that just is walking around the networking event with a stack of business cards, and their only goal is to just stuff their business card in everybody's hands and get everybody's business card back so that they can spam you when they get back to their office or whatever they do with those business cards. I have no idea. But don't be that person, and especially online, like Ronan is saying.
Yeah.
Let me go back and just, if you wouldn't mind sharing my screen, I'm gonna go back and look at the slide. I want to see if there is something I missed. Okay, so make it all about them. We talked about that. Short non-sales messages. We talked about that. Third-party relevant information to your market. We just showed you an example of that. Okay, bonus. Send a video message. I'm not going to go into detail here on video messages. That being said, we have an upcoming live deep dive training on setting up sales appointments that is free. It's coming up this Friday at 9:30 a.m. Ronan, if you wouldn't mind pulling the link up to where they can sign up for that. It's totally free. It's not sales pitch. Trust me, we're going to go into a lot more detail on messaging and also a lot of other stuff that will show you how exactly we set these appointments up. I'll go into detail on video messages there. Bold bonus, send a package. This is actually something that we've recently started to do, and it's really cool. And it has we'll call it massive wow impact. I will show in detail how we do this during Friday's deep dive training on guaranteed sales appointments. But if you'd like to in advance experience this, and if you'd like me to send you a package, trust me, you like it. I'll do it. Why don't we do it? Let's pull up, if you wouldn't mind, Ronan, my package link, and post that into the groups. I'm going to come back and just show me. So if you want this package, what's that? Okay,
it's done. I've shared the link.
You shared the package link? Okay. And then I'll show it on the screen here too. So if you go and you fill out your information at this link, ineedyourmailbox.com/Brian, you get to experience firsthand what we do when we send something in the mail to someone that we really want to have an appointment with. So if you want a free gift and see kind of how we do that and literally get a package from us, that's not going to be a bill. It's not going to be ad. It's not going to be junk. It's not going to be your stimulus check, but it is maybe the second coolest thing to getting your stimulus check is this package. So put your information in here. ineedyourmailbox.com/Brian. I promise it's not some disguised way to sell you something. But I want you to really experience what we're doing and how we do it, because it will help you in your business. So for a business that happens to be. So let's go back. If you want to get a deep dive on this stuff, if you want to really learn and interact with Ronan and myself and learn how to set sales appointments up for yourself, even during and especially during our COVID-19 crisis, join us. Join us this Friday at 9:30. We'd love to meet you and share all of what we do, all of what we know about set qualified appointments for your business. That's all I got today about messaging. And do you have anything you want to add?
No, just really, I just want to set the context for it. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and it's about building relationship over time. So just understand that going in. There's always everybody in business, we want instant results, right? We want to put in X and we want X times 10 to come out super fast. This will give you the 10x. It just over time you're building relationships, but at the end of the day, they're also more powerful and more solid, and they're not built on a flimsy, well, let's see what this sales pitch is about kind of thing. So just give it the time that you need. It's part of a bigger strategy that you have. It's not the only thing that you do, but it is a very powerful way to connect with people.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for clarifying that. So I hope we see you Friday, and thanks for tuning in, and have a really, really blessed and productive Wednesday.
Yeah. Peace, everybody.
All right. Peace out, everyone.